So, lads, today we are going to be talking about the great country of Ireland. There are a couple of things that I'm like, I'll make some videos sometimes just to talk about, the old sport of basketball, sometimes to talk about basketball in this great country, which not the ideal country in the world, but I actually am not sure there's been a better year for Irish basketball since I've really started following it. Yes, we won the European Small Nations Championship. Yes, we've had very good underage teams. But, this season, just in terms of women's basketball alone, we have Gandhi Malumamel. She's gone and committed to UConn. There are 9 D1 female players that have committed. 9 Irish players have committed to D1, which is unheard of on the female side. Obviously, Gandhi's gone to UConn, which is huge. They're the favourites to win a championship. She's a 6'6", near 7-foot wingspan athlete who they expect to turn into a WNBA player. The number 1 ranked team in the nation coming into the tournament. Or were they number 1 in the tournament? Or were they number 2 in the tournament? Either way, Grace Prenter, senior women's international, played for Meteors. 5'8" guard, has gone to Texas. Emma Tolan, who, funnily enough, I was supposed to have coached last season, is going to Oklahoma to play with Aaliyah Chavez. And, Oklahoma were really good last year. They absolutely demolished. They absolutely destroyed Iowa last year in the tournament. They were, and by the way, it's not like Oklahoma are a bad team. They still have Reagan Beers next year, unless she transfers again. They still genuinely, they're going to compete. They're going to compete. And again, this is one of the best young players in Ireland. I don't know how much Emma Tolan's going to play, necessarily. Because Oklahoma's Oklahoma, and I don't know how much Grace is going to play, especially as a freshman in Texas. So I'm trying to think. I don't even know what the which one is older? Is Emma Tolan, is she 05 or 06? I'm not sure if she's 05 or 06. I know Grace Prenter's 06. But I'm pretty sure last year she led the Irish 20s team in scoring when she was under 18s. And the Irish women's 20s team had Emma Tolan, had Grace Prenter, had Gandhi playing, and had a couple of other players in the States. And that's not it. There's 9 of them. There's 9. Obviously, Kieran Quinn's daughter's playing for Ireland, growing up in America. I mean, her dad went over to play at, where was it? Was it Post University? I'm trying to think, because I think her dad went over with another Irish guy that I played with. But she's there. I have no idea who Mackenzie Teven is, I'm going to be honest. Sophie Massimento, I have no idea who she is. Obviously, another player from Meteors have gone to Yale. Obviously, I'm guessing the same team with Prenter. Rachel Lynch. Is she from Cork? I'm not entirely sure. And another Meteors player. 3 players from the same team in Meteors in Ireland going D1. That is crazy. For Irish basketball, that hasn't been seen since, if you're looking at Irish ball, that type of thing has not been seen since there was a Glanmire team, I'm pretty sure, with, the O'Reilly twins, Casey Grace, that team where a whole bunch of them went off to the States. But it's a big one for Ireland as a country. And not only that, on the men's side, we have had CJ Fulton getting a workout with the, genuinely working out with the Timberwolves for the NBA. And you might be thinking, oh, what am I talking about? Why am I talking about this like it's something? It matters. It matters for a country as small as Ireland, for where basketball is really not a big sport. And Ireland just qualified for Europe Cup in 3-on-3. And again, look, I understand that this is not the biggest deal in the world. There's sometimes I'm just making videos for my own sake. You guys don't have to care. But they just qualified with the best countries in Europe as one of the 12 countries. This is Ireland. We're not a basketball powerhouse, and I know it's 3-on-3. But this is a team that was Like, this is a team coached by Darren McGovern from Breanna. This is a team that, like, if you're looking at the players on the team, like, outside of Taiwo Badmus, all grew up through the Irish underage system. Like, I grew up playing on, like, local Dublin regional teams, and I played on Sean Flood's under six. We were on the same national team with Sean Flood. Matt Tracy, I grew up in the same. I lived down the road from the guy. Like, there's a video on my other channel of the two of us playing one-on-one with each other when he was, when he was a kid. And this guy's gone off playing pro, doing, like, serious, like, had a great season in Iceland this year. Would have grown up playing against Jordan Blount. He was a year younger than me, but, and, like, seeing 3 guys that I essentially grew up playing with and against. And seeing guys that I still occasionally will play pickup in the summer when they're around. Seeing those type of guys competing with the best of the best. You know, they're going to be competing with the best of the best. I know it's 3-on-3, but it's still big for Ireland. It's still big for Ireland. And, like, I'm going to be tuning in. Like, obviously, look, I watched a lot of women's college basketball last year for this channel. I watched so much of it. Like, I watched Oklahoma to watch how Reagan Beers is playing. I watched to see a lot of these things. As well as that, I'm going to be watching Oklahoma to see Aaliyah Chavez playing. I'm going to be watching UConn because Sarah Strong is probably my favorite player in college basketball next year. And I don't have to hate on UConn anymore because of Gino. But because they've got Gandhi playing for them. And Texas, I mean, Texas were quite boring last year. Texas were quite boring, but hopefully Grace Prenter gets a bit of a look in Texas because a hell of a player. And I forgot to even mention, Claire Melia scored 27 points on Dominique Malonga. Claire Melia had 27 on Dominique Malonga only a couple of months ago, which is probably the greatest performance by an Irish player of all time. Of all time. She won Euro Cup Player of the Month, and I'm shocked that Claire Melia did not make it, did not end up playing or didn't get a training camp contract. She's Player of the Month in Euro Cup. And again, Euro Cup with Carla Late, Dominique Malonga, Leah Rue, Chechi Zandalasini. Like, she played against all these players in Euro Cup and gave them all, like, put it up to all of them. All of them. And is back with Ferrol next year, one of the best teams in Spain. And then obviously, look, CJ Fulton's done something that no male basketball player, as far as I'm aware, that's ever grown up through the Irish system, has done. And he's probably made it as close to the NBA as anyone has. And, like, obviously, you never know if you're Irish. You never know what Liam McHale could have done back in those days. You never know the heights that Colin O'Reilly could have reached if he was coming up through the system now, where these teams, pro teams, these college teams, are more likely to take on Irish players. You don't know what heights these players could have reached. But, like, up until this point, I would have always said in college ball, for Irish players, maybe Michael Bree, but I would have said John Carroll had been the best in terms of how they played in college. But, like, I'm not joking when I say this, we are like 6 years removed from John Carroll, Sean Flood, Jordan Blount, and Adele Thornton being the only four Irish players in all of D1 men's or women's. We're about 5 years removed from there being 4 total. There are 9 in just this year's recruiting class. And that's to add to Killian Gribben, who's over with Maine right now. That's to add to the countless players playing D2. I mean, what's his name? Victor Okoji just signed D1. Again, Victor Okoji literally lived where I'm pointing right now. Like 30 seconds where I'm pointing right now when he was here. Like, it is the smallest country. Like, if you've ever been to Ireland, you guys don't understand how small a country it is. And you're like, the fact that there's so much basketball success coming out of Ireland in recent years, it's only a matter of time before things improve. And the standard of ball in Ireland, whether or not you believe it's improving, the standard of players is. The standard of players is, and the great thing about this is that a lot of these players came up through the Irish system. Grace Prenter came up through Meteors. Emma Tolan's from Cavan. She's from Cavan. It's not like Cavan's some hotbed of basketball. Like, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like, before East Cavan Eagles came through, like, what is it, like, Larry Caffrey and Aoife Maguire is the 2 best players from Cavan before Emma Tolan? Like, it's not some basketball hotbed. She's, like, an hour and a half away from Dublin in a, like, in a county where there's there been very little ball, and came up through the system, never left Cavan, never even played for one of the top team, like never even went to one of the big feeder clubs in Ireland that fed up to all the way to Super League. Got her team to Super League, was Young Player of the Year, and is now going to be playing for Oklahoma with Leah Chavez. Like, unbelievable stuff. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. And look, I understand this means nothing to most of you guys. This is just a video where I want to talk about Irish basketball. And if you guys don't enjoy this, that's fine. You probably already clicked off the video. But anyway, yeah, that is the video. What a 12 months for Irish basketball. And look, the position that Irish basketball is in now compared to the way it used to be. Like, if you look and compare the Irish national team when it kind of first came back in, and like, I'm not saying the players were bad, they're still 100 times better than I am, but it's now at the stage where if you're not the level, like, again, there are some like players that stay in Ireland that could have gone D1 or D2, and like high level D2 could have been D1 players, but they choose to stay in Ireland because it's more important. They can get the degree here and it'll help their career, which is completely understandable. But yeah, it's all around just an unbelievable time for Irish ball, that we will be seeing Irish players on 3 of the top 10 ranked teams in the nation coming into the like college ball next year. And again, obviously women's basketball is improving at a crazy rate in Ireland. When you add these players in a couple of years to Claire Melia, when she enters her prime in a couple of years, whatever import player we bring over, or whatever naturalized player we bring over, and then like Adele's still going to be Adele. There's going to be players. You might be more likely to get players back from overseas. The ones that have stayed over there, you might be more likely to get an Orla O'Reilly back. And it'll be interesting seeing these teams compete, because our men's national team is better than it's been in 20 years. Since it disbanded. And like, people don't understand this about Irish basketball. Our men's national team did not exist for our men's and women's teams didn't exist for about 7 years. Like, we were not able to fund our national teams. I made my Irish under-16s national team. We went through the whole trial process. We picked the team and we were sat down in the center circle after, like, this is like we make the team. We're like, yeah, grand, we're going to the European Championships. We were sat down in a circle and told, Basketball Ireland have been kicked out of all European Championships this year because they didn't pay fines to FIBA. I never got to play in the European Championships by making a team because Basketball Ireland did not have, owed money to FIBA. The Irish under-18s programs, men and women, did not exist for years. Did not exist for years because we couldn't fund them. The 20s program between 2010 and 2016 was not a thing. Men's or women's, it did not exist. They had to magic it up out of nowhere in 2016. So for a country that has gone from not even having national teams, in 2012, there was only an Irish under-16 national team. No under-18s, no 20s, no senior national team. There was none of it. And in 13 years, we have come from that, where we were then, to seeing 9 players in one recruiting class in just women's going D1. And again, on the men's side, how many players there are coming through, and how many young players that I'm seeing playing in the National League, in Super League, that very easily could go and play D2, D1 as well. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible for Irish basketball. And look, I'm under no illusions that we're one of the weaker basketball countries in the world. But if you grew up in the basketball environment that I grew up in, if you grew up seeing there not being anything to aspire to, like, in Ireland, and seeing the success there is now, there is somewhere to go. And the craziest part is that it was during that era of there being almost no hope that these 3 of these lads right here, like Sean Flood, I've never played with a dude who cared more about the sport of basketball. Like, this guy from 16 onwards trained like a pro, and there's a reason he's a pro now. Jordan Blount, one of the most talented players that I've ever seen, and Matt Tracy, bit of a late bloomer, but like legit pro, 6'8", handle, can shoot. These guys all came through an era of Irish basketball where going and playing in the States was, even just playing college ball at all, was seen as this unrealistic, impossible dream. And now at least kids are going to be able to see players doing that and have something to aim for. So anyway, yeah, That's the video. I'll see you guys.